my channel. If you're new here, welcome. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can achieve this Nebula makeup tutorial and body paint in honor of the release of Avengers Endgame. I'm absolutely in love with how this makeup turned out, and not gonna lie, kind of don't want to take it off, and I kind of want to wear it to the movie tonight, but I'm not gonna because I can't be distracted, and if tears are going to come, this is all gonna come off in like 0.2 seconds. And obviously, just a quick disclaimer, this is obviously nowhere near the caliber of Christopher Nelson, who is one of the makeup artists for Nebula, but I am very happy with it. I think it was fun. They actually use full-on prosthetics for the makeup look, and I did this with just body paint, so it definitely gives you an option. If you want, you can definitely make this a full prosthetic piece. What you would probably want to do is make the entire prosthetic on a life cast and then cut out the pieces and then just piece them together like a puzzle. I feel like that would probably work easiest, and I think it looked pretty cool. So anyways, with all that being said, if you guys are interested in seeing how you can achieve this Nebula makeup look, then just keep watching. Hey guys, so to get started, I'm going to be showing you how you can make Nebula's prosthetic eyepiece. This is one of many ways that you can make the eyepiece. I'm just going to be sculpting it out of clay and then applying liquid latex over it in layers like we do for some prosthetics on this channel to make a latex prosthetic piece. Now, there are of course plenty of other ways to make it. You can sculpt it out of Model Magic and let it dry overnight, or you can even just cut it out of foam and build it up that way. Going back, I probably would have taken the foam route. I feel like that would have probably been easiest, and I decided to do the way that is probably the least accurate and also the hardest to do. But I was trying to think outside of the box and do something different. I just really wanted that three-dimensional prosthetic piece. So as you can see, I'm just taking some of my clay and sculpting out the shape of her eyepiece in small increments and just applying them one by one and using some of my Kemper tools to blend them into each piece so that they don't just fall off whenever you put it on. And the forehead piece is just the same concept. You're going to be laying down the pieces that you already cut out. You're going to be blending them together, and then I'm actually going to be taking my rake Kemper tool to thin out the center piece, and you honestly kind of have a trident-like shape because you have two prongs, one on either side, and then one going down the back like a stingray. I'm then going to be taking my liquid latex on a sponge, and I'm just going to be slowly building up this eyepiece. I ended up doing 10 layers, which is definitely a lot. It's very time consuming, but basically you just apply the layer, you wait for it to dry. You can aid that drying process by using a hairdryer or a hand fan, and then you want to just keep building up the layers. You don't have to worry about the edges too much with this because this is a middle piece that is going on our eye. We're actually going to be cutting out the edges so we have straight edges, which is very rare to want for a prosthetic or any kind of piece that you glue onto your face because it won't blend. But that's kind of the good thing, is because you want that straight edge and you want it to look like a robotic piece of your body. After you finish with your last layer, you're then going to be taking some baby powder and just applying this all over the prosthetic, and then you're slowly going to be lifting this up off of the clay, making sure to apply some baby powder underneath as you go so both sides end up being completely coated and sealed, and then you can go ahead and cut off the edges so that you have your nice straight edges. Once that's done, you're then going to be flipping the prosthetic piece over and just applying some cotton and latex to help build up those areas so that it is thicker and that it doesn't collapse when you apply it on your face. Next, I'm going to be going into my Graftobian Pro Paint in Graveyard Gray and just applying this all over the prosthetic eyepiece to serve as a base, and then we're definitely going to be brightening it up and adding more details later, but we just want to go ahead and get the bases done for now. So for the headpiece, we're going to be taking our Mare Paradise Paint in black and just applying this all over the prosthetic piece. We're even going to be using some of that black to fill in the crevices in the eyepiece as well to help give that more dimension. Next, I'm going to be taking my Deco Art metallic paints in zinc and white pearl, and I'm going to be applying zinc all over the eyepiece before going in with white pearl to add highlights to the eyepiece and help give that more dimension. Another great product to use that would be a makeup product would be the Mare metallic powder in silver. I didn't have any of that, but that is definitely an item I think I probably would have preferred. Next, I'm going to be taking my polyacrylic with a Q-tip and just applying this all over both prosthetic pieces to help give it that nice glossy finish. And next, we're moving on to the application process. I'm going to be taking my petroleum jelly and just sweeping this through my eyebrow hairs, my eyelashes, my baby hairs around the side of my face, and even sweeping it through my hair at my forehead as well. Then I'm going to be taking my 𝐵𝐺𝐸 latex bald cap and just pulling my hair back into a ponytail before putting this over my head. You definitely want to try and smooth your hair out as much as possible so that you don't have any wrinkling. A great thing that you can do is you can also have a wig cap on top of your hair, one that isn't netted but fully stitched together. That might create a ridge at the forehead base though that you'll have to blend out, but that is definitely an option if your costume doesn't cover up the hair at the back of your head. Next, I'm just going to be making some Bondo by mixing Kabbassil and Prosade and applying that onto the bald cap edges using a spatula to help try and blend that into my forehead a little bit better since these lines are a little bit thicker and we want to have this blend as seamlessly into our face as much as possible. Next, I'm going to be taking my Madalyn Paradise paint in white, and while holding up my prosthetic eyepiece, I'm going to be mapping out her face shape and details. This is going to help figure out where we're going to separate the blue from the purple body paint and just give us a nice general idea of where everything is going to be placed and where it's going to go. Next, I'm going to be taking my Madalyn Paradise paint in light blue and just applying this to all of the areas that she has blue on her face. Once again, reference photos will be your best friend, so I highly recommend that you have those ready and available to look back on and figure out where you're going to be placing your paints. Next, I'm going to be taking my Madalyn Paradise paint in light blue and just lightly stippling this on top of the light blue body paint. This is going to help add a little bit more dimension and also bring in a few of those green tones that she has in her skin. Next, we're going to be moving on to the purple body paint. I'm going to be taking my Graftobian Pro Paint in Wild Violet and just applying this to the center of the face and bringing it back onto the back of my head as well. Next, we want to make sure to highlight our face, so using our Madalyn Paradise paint in white and a large fluffy foundation brush, you're going to be applying that into the very center of the purple body paint and then making sure to lightly blend it out with a clean foundation brush. Next, I will be taking my Johnson's Baby Powder and I'm going to be just brushing this all over my face to help set the body paint. Another great tip is if you do happen to have your bald cap lift up a bit and you can see the hair around your ears, just lay down a little bit of cotton balls with some liquid latex, making sure to not put liquid latex in your hair, but just around the surrounding area of the bald cap to help cover and seal that area. Next, we're going to be gluing down the prosthetics, and for this, since I already have makeup laid down, I find it easier to use Prosade as opposed to spirit gum. Spirit gum really does not like to stick to makeup. It's better to use on a bare face. So in this situation, I'm just going to be applying some Prosade to the back of the prosthetic and to my face on both prosthetic pieces and just waiting for that to dry and set. I'm then going to be taking my Madalyn Paradise paint in black, and using this I'm going to be outlining the cheekbone area where she actually has a different panel of a different color of metal. I'm then going to be going into my Madalyn Paradise paint in Deep Sea and applying this to the areas right underneath of the panel that we just created, and I'm also going to be bringing that down onto my neck as well and just filling in those areas. Following that, we're going to be taking our Morphe James Charles Unleash Your Inner Artist palette, taking this teal and this dark blue, mixing them together, and we're just going to be applying this around the perimeters of the blue panels on our face. Once that is complete, we're going to be doing the exact same thing with the purple eyeshadow on the purple panel of our face. I'm even going to be going back into my Madalyn Paradise paints and just filling in those open areas on my eye with the teal body paint. Then going back into the purple eyeshadow, I'm then going to be contouring Nebula's nose and contouring the lip area as well. Going into my Madalyn Paradise paint in black, I'm finally going to be adding this right on top of these separate panel pieces to help differentiate where each piece ends. So you definitely want to try and have as steady of a hand as possible with this. I personally do not have a steady hand, so this is something that is very easy to get messy. If you really do struggle with painting a straight line, you can always take a spatula and just slightly pat it down so you can slowly build up a straight line. That is definitely going to be a very long process, but it will work if you don't want to worry about using a paintbrush. That is something that you can use too. Next, we're actually going to be outlining the eyepiece area to really help separate that and make that look more three-dimensional. Once that is done, I'm then going to be creating the little pieces of line work that Nebula has on her face. So this is going to be right above her eyebrows and then also on the side of her head. Following that, I'm going to be going back into my teal eyeshadow and dark blue eyeshadow, and I'm just going to be shading around that side panel area. Then I'm going to be going into my Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit, taking blue ice and just applying this to the highest points of my face. So this is my cheekbones, my nose, my cupid's bow, and my temples. I'm then going to be taking my Madalyn Paradise paint in black, and we're going to be starting on the chest piece. So for this, we're going to be making the neckline of her shirt. So we're going to be applying 2 lines before filling that in, and we're going to be following that up by taking our Graftobian Pro Paint in Wild Violet, and you're going to be creating 2 45-degree angles on your shoulder to kind of simulate the edge of the outfit, and then just go ahead and fill that in. You also want to make sure to fill in her blue arm as well. When working on her metallic arm, I'm going to be taking my Graftobian Pro Paint in Graveyard Gray, just filling in that arm area, and since I don't want to go into too many details, I'm just going to be lightly scribbling a few robotic-like designs using my Madalyn Paradise paint in black. Going into my 2 blue eyeshadows once again, I'm then going to be shading the blue arm to definitely make it look like the shirt is lifted off of the arm, and also bring that up onto the neckline as well so it looks more three-dimensional. I'm then going to be taking my Graveyard Gray body paint and create the seam in between the black and the purple body paint on the neckline area. Next, I'm going to be mixing my Madalyn Paradise paint in black with my Graftobian Pro Paint in Wild Violet so we can get a nice dark plum color. So this is going to stand out from the purple that we have on our chest. And we're going to be creating the shoulder-like designs, the straps, the harness, whatever it is exactly that her shirt has. We're just going to be creating that design on the chest area before taking our Madalyn Paradise paint in black and just defining the seams of that piece. Next, I'm going to be taking my black eyeshadow, and using this, I'm going to be adding some shading to my body to help make this look more three-dimensional and like it is an actual piece of clothing. I'm then going to be going back into my metallic paints and just reapplying this on top of my eyepiece. This is just to help brighten it up a little bit in case it lost some of its shine throughout the application process. I'm then going to be taking my black eyeshadow again and using this to fill in my one remaining eyebrow. I will then be taking my Maybelline Lasting Drama eyeliner and just applying this to my upper lash line and also bringing that down to my lower waterline as well. Once again, going back into the 2 blue eyeshadows, I'm then going to be applying that to my lower lash line and also bringing that up onto my lid as well. And something I would actually recommend is actually bringing in a black eyeshadow as well to really help add a smokier look, because after seeing the movie, she definitely seems to have a lot of black eyeshadow on her lid space that I couldn't see throughout the reference photos. And you can't forget about defining your ears as well. I'm then going to be prepping my eyelashes by curling them before taking my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara and just sweeping that through my eyelashes to fully coat them before going into my Kiss lashes and just applying that to my upper lash line. And that is the completed look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to see next. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!